and some of them are a ways away, but then when they unlock, not that one, but this one, as soon as I get through all the text, when they unlock, no, it was this one, when they unlock the next area for that, uh, we'll be able to hopefully have enough we can get him, and we can get him to 8, and we at least can get the artifact on him. But I thought we'd just mess around today. You know, I'm going to throw him in there and see what he does or what he doesn't do. And, you know, if you haven't got him yet and you see this and you're like, yeah, maybe not so much, help me, you know, or if you decide he does help you, the only thing I'll tell you is have fun. You know, if Zod's your guy and he's your favorite villain, you want him on your roster, do it. The most important thing is just to have fun with your characters and stuff like that. You know, unfortunately, we don't really need more than 3 teams. So if you have 3 really good teams, you know, you can splurge on something if you want. And, you know, as a free-to-play player, we got to be a little bit more picky. So, and we don't get these guys at rank 10, gear badge 30, you know, and we just have to live with that. So we have to work with what we have. And let's see if he's even worth it at 7 stars. I'm going to go right into my story mode. I'm at 4812. I'm going to do some rearranging. I'm not going to put him out there on an island by himself. But let's get this started and let's do some rearranging. So, well, we definitely are not running that team. I don't even know what the heck that team is. We are going to do this. We're taking John Stewart off there. I think we're going to take Bizarro off there. We're going to run Aquaman with the Kryptonians and Starfire. I think we're going to put Bane back there on this team and get this team going. We'll see how it goes if I need to substitute Kid Flash in there or not. And then for the block team, I think we'll just put John back on the block team. It's a little overkill with all the counterattacks, but you know, it is what we got. And then, so we'll run a block team with John. We'll run this team. And then this is what I'm thinking with him, set 7 stars. So let's take a crack at this and let's see if we want to do it this way. Or if we want to make Aquaman the main tank. Let's try it with Aquaman as the main tank first. Now Poison Ivy's been wrecking my back row pretty good, so... Right. A little bit of burnout. We'll freeze the front row now. Alright. Alright, she got Superboy, but there's Aquaman doing his stuff. Let's get her out there too. Get more burns out there. Let's get Superboy out there and Superman. Superman's going to be a waste. I should have waited. Should have waited for the back row to come up. Alright. We won't survive another. Alright, so he did that. That was pretty good. I'll take that. Let's get Aquaman out there and maybe we can get a, whatever it's called, exhaust on her and she won't hit as hard. Alright, that might have saved Superboy. Okay, let's get her out there. Let's get him in again before he dies. Right, he's hitting pretty hard. And there we go, we freeze. Get her out there again. Let's get him out there again. Alright, we're still holding on. It's alright, we lost Superboy, but that's okay. By this point, we're good. Alright, so there's 4812, and he hung on. Rank 7. You know, he didn't, you know, not bad. Let's back out. Hopefully it keeps my teams. Oh, good. All right. Let's see if he survives as the main tank or not. And then let's do this as if we were... What team do I have the mirror on? Got the mirror on the block. I've been thinking about taking that off. I think I will. Let's take the mirror off. Let's give them the chair. And then we'll give these guys... Okay. Yeah, we'll give these guys the mirror. Give them a little bit more survivability. Alright, let's try Zod at the main tank and see how if he survives or not. And this time we'll save Superman's ult for when the back row's cleared. Alright. Get let's get Aquaman to hit the front row as well. Alright, hold on. Yep, everyone held on. Let's lose the mirror. I'm not used to having the mirror on this team. I completely forgot. Alright, let's get rid of that guy. Come on. Alright, Soups, you're up next, buddy. Alright, we're about to get Zod's revive, I think. There he goes. Let's get rid of that other minion. And get the fire team out there. Exhaust. We'll get Zod to freeze again. Alright. Alright. So even as the main tank he survives, we had to use his revive. Let me get this off my ear. We had to use his revive, but you know, he survived. And again, this is rank 7, no artifact yet. So, and this is 48, 12, 13. So, you know, it's not the front row team or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah. So that's 37. So we're actually outpowering them. Let's see if they punch up any. Let's find out if they can punch up any. This would be 8,000. Or 800,000, I guess. Alright, Superboy survived. That's a good start. Shoot out there. Really like to get through the front row as quickly as possible, obviously. Alright, so Zod's probably going to have to use his revive here in a second. I really don't want to use Aquaman yet. I'd like to get Superboy in there next. I'd like to get rid of him too before I use Superman. Alright, there we go. Let's get Superman in there. We'll get Aquaman in there too. Alright, let's freeze him. There we go. Not bad. Everything's going not bad. Of course, that can change in a second, so I'm not going to get too excited yet. Let's get exhaust out there so they hit a little bit softer. Alright, Soups, you going to put someone out? Yes, he is. We might get... Nope. Well, that's not bad. That's an 800,000 punch up. Now, I know that's with Aquaman at 9. And, you know, it's a team of 3 legendaries, so it's not... But, I mean, if you have, you know, something like this, Zod is working 48-12. That's a team 2 win. I don't think we'll be able to punch up that much. We won't try. But that's not bad. Let's do that again, and let's move Zod off the main tank. Let's do Aquaman at the main tank. I don't think there's anyone else I really want to replace. I kind of like this team as is. My Bizarro's just really weak. He's only like a 5-star. I know that giving the flower doesn't require huge investment. I wish we could see their kits from here. Okay, let's go take a look at this. Yeah, Bizarro. There you are, buddy. Alright, so that's him freezing beams. He does frostbite and freeze. Oh, there's our flower. Increases max HP by 10% at the startup as it gives an ally with the highest max HP a flower. Alright. Who the hell is would Zod be my max HP? I'm gonna think it's Soups. 1,278,000, so 1.27. Oh yeah, not even close. I think once I get some badge on him, you know, because Soups is almost badge 30. So Bizarro really wouldn't help Zod right now, so I think I'll keep the burn the way it is. But let's try one with Aquaman at the main tank. And I don't think there's really anyone else. I mean, we could try a Dr. Phosphorus in, but I'm liking... I want to keep the Kryptonians, of course. And I'm liking Starfire. I think she's doing a lot. I've got some investment in her. And I think she's only going to hit harder once I keep getting that badge up and keep getting her up. So I'm kind of liking this team. That's kind of where I'm going right now with him. And if he's clearing team 2, you know, if he's... And surviving, it's not just him being out there, but he's surviving. You know, that 7 stars at 8, it's only going to get better. So, but let's try it with him as the off tank. Excuse me, guys. Now you do get unlucky when you don't have him at 10 if he does the frost and I'm running a predominantly burn team, but you know, I misplayed that. I got talking and forgot what I was doing. But I mean, you know, hey, you're free to play. You gotta use it the way you get it, and you know, you gotta make it work. Alright, let's get Aquaman out there. Just want to try to get rid of that front row as quickly as possible. Get the mirror out. Get rid of him, and then we can start working on that. Alright, Soups, you're up, buddy. We'll get Aquaman out too to get some exhaust on these idiots. Alright, they're holding on. I mean, again, this is 48-12 Team 2. So, I mean, if you're significantly lower than this and you're looking at teams that are... Oops, I need to stop talking and start paying attention. You know, he's doing the job. He's freezing people. His detonation synergy's going. You know, I mean, look at this freeze. Holy cow, these guys have been sitting still forever. Soups is going to finish this off. Oh, well, he almost did. So there we go. You know what? I think I'll play out the rest of them. Let's advance it and see if if they're still going to hold up. All right, guys, sorry about that. Let's see if we can get this to work now. I've been having some technical difficulties with my Streamlabs. Let's rock this, and we'll just redo this whole mission. I want to at least push the story. One more thing before we call it a day on Zod and whether or not you think he's viable based on what you've seen on here. Alright, just got one more minion to get rid of. Hopefully. Man, they hit hard. Alright, we gotta just get rid of him. Let's get Bane out there. He puts some offense down. Wonder Woman gets rid of him. Let's see if we can get the girl out. Nope, we can't. There goes Bane. There goes him. There goes her. Alright, so we'll have to do this. That's not a good start. She didn't hit him hard enough. Nowhere near hard enough. Arrow, you gonna get rid of anybody? Yeah, you got rid of one. Alright. Alright, Flash, get in there and heal yourself, buddy. Bane just took care of himself. We'll get Bane out there too. Maybe we'll get some stuns. I said, oh, no, I guess we're doing Green Arrow. I wanted to do Bane. Come on. We just got one more. At least we got the grenade throwers out of here. Alright, we got a silent. Ooh, easy there. Come on, Wonder Woman, get in there, girl. Alright, there goes Bride, that's alright. Can heal himself. Kid Flash will heal himself. Or Wonder Woman, probably himself. Yep, alright, that's fine. It's alright. Kid Flash doing the job. Alright, who's gonna get this? Damn! I thought he might hold on. Alright, there goes Grodd. Alright. A little messy, but we got through it. Let's trick the next one. Alright, we're back to our Zod team again. Let's see if these guys can rock it out again. Really want to easy there on the back row, girl. Come on, come on, Superboy. I'd like to get rid of that guy before we. All right, Aquaman's doing the job. I like to get rid of that guy before we unleash him, and then him. Okay, we don't need the mirror yet. And then they go to work. Okay, now we'll use the mirror. Forget how good Aquaman is with that other team. He really helps out a ton with his healing in this school of fish. Alright, we can freeze again. And his Aquaman's ults are cheap. Not as cheap as hers, obviously, but man, only 2 for him. I mean, it doesn't do a ton, but... Alright, so the burn team with Zod comes through again. The block team should be able to handle this pretty easy. Yeah, I think we'll let John go without the shields if he's gonna, and let him block. And we'll start the bleed train here. Alright, Bats, we could use you, buddy. Well, man, I just wish he'd hit a little bit harder. We'll go ahead and get that up since it's free. Alright, you guys are starting to go. We're going to lose Bats. We'll top off the bleeding. Let's get, oh, no, I was hoping we'd get Batman in one more time, but... Start using Nightwing then. Alright, we're at 6. Time shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. I was hoping to sneak that in before she went, but I think she'd already started her animation by the time I'd hit the button. Alright, come on. Alright, bleed out already. There we go. Alright, so we'll try 4815. We'll do a stage with the burn team, and then we'll get out of here. And then you guys, let you guys decide whether or not that looks viable at 7 stars, and then when we get him to 8 stars here, we'll come back and we'll do it again, and we'll just see where he's at and how it's looking, and you know, it's only going to get better once I put an artifact on him. I'd hopefully be great if we could get his artifact, but you know, work with what we got. All right, let's back out. So all right, so let's start the mission. Let's see here. All right, so let's do this. The superpower team. I believe again. I wish we could see their kits from here. Oh, good. Oh, we can. Awesome. Because what is he? Okay, so superpower. So this would be his weak because these guys are superpower. So let's see how this goes. And we'll leave Aquaman at the main tank. Yeah, that tagged him a little bit. We got unlucky there. We got breath frost, but that's all right. All right, Aquaman will come in and help him out. Get out. Let's get this out. All right, he's got immunity, so we need a turn out of you. Alright, there we go. Let's get the mirror out. Alright, let's get you. Alright, let's get rid of him. Alright, perfect. Now we can start on the back row. Alright, let's get a freeze. We're getting into his ultimate twice, so that's not bad. I'll show you what I got on him before we get out of here too. Alright. I think that's a good spot to leave it. That's a superpower team at 4815. That is 800,000 stronger overall than I. He survived. Now, of course, Aquaman makes a difference. You know, I have a 9 Aquaman, 8 DCU, and then an 8. God, what's her name? I can't even remember her name now. Starfire. Sorry, and Superboy. So that's the team I'm running with. And then him at 7 stars right now. We'll get him to 8 here once the event, we get further into the event. So just to give you guys something to think about from a free-to-play perspective, you know, and we all can't get them to badge 30, rank 10, you know, right away. You know, some of us just don't play the game that way. It's awesome to watch the videos. I was watching them, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun to see what he can do. And those guys put out great content and great information. But just for the rest of us who kind of have to, you know, swim at the shallow end, this is what he's at 7 stars. This is what he's looking like. This is what he's doing for me, and this is the lineup I'm using. So hopefully this helps you if you've got something that's comparable to what I'm doing, or based on where you're at in the main stages. You know, I'm at 4815. He's surviving. He's contributing, you know, and I'll keep him in there. He's doing the work, you know. So let me get out of here. Let me just show you what I'm rocking as far as his gear and stuff, and then I will let you guys out of here. So like I said, gear 7, 280, so not even all that high on there. We do have him badge 10 already. He will be my next badge 20 once I'm done with Batman. So we'll get Batman done, and then we'll come over here. We'll get to his badge 20. And we'll get all of Kryptonians and Generals. Dodge teams gain additional, you know, we'll ramp up the defense. Of course, we'd love to get to here, and maybe he'll be my next 30. I'll have to decide that once I get him to 20. We're 20 away from rank up, so I don't want to use any of these. Those are all slated for Aquaman. I got enough purples, so we should be good there. And then gear. I went speed because I want to try to get him to cycle that ultimate more, but I did a HP bonus for survivability and a block bonus for survivability. So I got 2 bonus tags on there with a little bit of speed to kind of give him that survivability, but also to get him going a little bit quicker so we can get to that ultimate a little bit quicker. And then the rest I just went HP. I figured with Starfire, Superboy, and DCU Soups, they'll take care of the damage. I just need him on the field. I need him cycling through that ultimate so he can be freezing people and stuff like that. And just, I just need him surviving. And so that's why I just went all health after that. So, and there he is. Alrighty, guys, let me know what you think. Hopefully this helps you make a decision on whether or not, as a free-to-play player, he's worth going for, or whether or not he would contribute to your squad or not. Like I said, number one thing is have fun. If he's your guy, go get him and have fun with him. That's all that matters, is that you have fun. And then, if this helps you out in any way with that, great. I hope it does. Let me know in the comments what you think. Gear set, anything else that you've seen that I can maybe get better at. Believe me, you guys help me a lot more than I help you. That is for sure. I'm grateful for that. All your guys' advices, I take it. Even if I don't say anything, or if I just like to comment, I am using it. Like I said, you help me more than I help you, and I appreciate that. So, alrighty, guys. Well, I'm going to let you out of here. Best of luck to you on those mother box pulls. I hope you pull off the multiple Zods that everyone else is pulling off, or whoever you're going for. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.